Hey everybody, I'm here with Tara and Tim and their beautiful son, and they're here for personal treatment and training. I'm sure you already know that, but today's one-a-day is bruising is issues in your tissues. You ever notice when people say, you know what, I didn't even bang into anything and I'm bruising, okay? Well, that's actually your tissues are rotting because your blood is so toxic, okay? Because we actually get emotional issues in our tissues, and when we get emotional, we're dumping adrenaline, cortisol, and histamines into our blood all the time, and it's degrading the tissues, right? Mm-hmm. Now, so you'll get people, and also when we work on people, healthy people, even though when we do Wolfe Non-Surgical, and we're going in there and pulling scar tissue apart and melting the crystallization and moving the calcium out to get it back into the bones, healthy people don't bruise. They get tender though, because when we pull the scar tissue apart, you know, that stuff has been, the scar tissue fibers have been stuck together like glue. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason why we're talking about this today is with Tara, you know, you'll find people will lack tone, but if you go deeper, you find tons of scar tissue because of the inflammation. So inflammation will destroy the tone in your body, but it will make your deeper tissues have scar tissue. That's why when people get older, their face sags, because there's scar tissue deep within the joints and in the deeper muscles, and then the circulation can't get to the top. So if you took a look, when Sage did your back, right? Mm-hmm. When Sage did your back, the top was kind of loose, right? Not a lot of tone. But when he went a little deeper, you actually felt like a hard rubber mat. Now, why did her sacrum, otherwise her low back, which is called the sacrum, become a hard rubber mat? Because it had to be, because of lack of tone up front. It had to become a hard rubber mat so that you didn't rip out. So when Sage worked on her, you can't even feel the fibers. They're so tight together. And that was so that you could still pick up your children, pick up the groceries, get off the toilet, get into the car. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So when Sage worked on you, okay, to go in there and just start to open things up, okay, it was so tight when he was pulling things apart, and because if things are that tight and it's like a rubber mat in there, how much circulation is in there? There's no circulation. It's cemented, but it had to cement so that you didn't wreck your back to just move around. Mm-hmm. So then it's bruised. Can you tell them about the bruising?
It's bruised.
So it's bruised. So it's bruised. And the reality is in the world of therapy, people are going to go, he bruised her? Oh my gosh, he's such a brute. Let me tell you something. That bruising is the dis-ease. When we talk about patting and clapping that we do, we talk about using the Wolfe Non-Surgical that we do, the bruising is actually the disease that's in there, that's embedded, and that's the issues in the tissues. When you do patting and clapping on the inside of your arm, and you're going to do it maybe for 20 minutes to a half an hour, if you do it right, you're going to find out how many broken hearts you have, how much heart disease you have, by how black and blue or red this goes. So understand that it's going to come out, because after a while it's not going to come out anymore. So you know what? Our bodies are always talking to us, body talk. But you've been taught, and everybody's been taught here that pain is an enemy. Mm-hmm. And the drug companies want your soul. They want you to numb down in pain, because if you numb down in pain, the inflammation's still going on. When you take those drugs, the inflammation is still raging. You just don't know it. Yeah. So then what happens? Now you're going to get the scar tissue. Then it's going to be a scar tissue issue. And then you're going to have what? Well, you've had 11 surgeries. Mm-hmm. So understand, so from drugs, it goes to stronger drugs, which goes to surgery. And after surgery, after a while, then you're going to have implants, like stents, like mesh, like hip replacement. How many people know that you're having a hip replacement because you had constipation? You didn't know that, did you? Because guess what? Here's your colon. Here's your hips. You're leaking waste. It goes down into here. How many people know that you actually had a hip replacement because your pelvis is on fire? If you've got bladder infections, cysts on your ovaries, if you've got uteral problems, okay, you've got any pain and inflammation on a constant low-grade pain here, you're heading towards a hip replacement. And nobody's going to tell you that. If you've got, okay, inflammation in your pelvis, you could be heading towards fusion of your lower spine or getting a rod in there, okay? I don't care if you've got kyphosis, I don't care if you've got scoliosis, you can reverse it. And do you think that just always pushing the bones back in place is the key? No, the issues are in the tissues. So until somebody's going to go in there and pull that scar tissue apart and undo those knots, if I've got a rope and I tie a knot in it, is it shorter? That's right. You know, when we do somebody's spine, they will be, I don't care, they will be 1/2 inch to 1.5 inch taller. You don't get shorter. The actual discs in between each of your vertebrae become dehydrated. And then they go from this to paper thin, and they'll actually come back. That's just like when they tell you, oh, well, we're going to have to give you a hip replacement, or we're going to have to do knee surgery. You know what? I say poo-poo on that. You come here, and if I do one treatment on you, and I don't prove to you that we can reverse it, okay, I'll give you your money back. And that is not because I'm smart. That's because your body is highly intelligent. And then when they can't see the scar tissue, when they can only see scar tissue, when they can't see the cartilage in there, okay, and when they can't see things in between your vertebrae, it's because it's calcified. It's just like when they tell you that you have stenosis. You know the nerve? You can't see the nerve has died. Well, guess what? I can have that nerve come back to life. The scar tissue and the calcium hides the nerve. It's not dead. It's just been choked off. And what's happening is these physical blocks are choking off your body. You need to understand something. We're getting schooled, ruled, and fooled. Okay? And I'm not saying it's intentional, but I'm going to tell you something. What I teach my children is what they're going to believe. And they're going to teach their children, and they're going to teach their children. What if I got the wrong information? So that, welcome to your world. Welcome to a health manual that's destroying not just your love for yourself, but the health of your family. All right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't forget to join me on Monday for my Q&A. And thank you, Tara. Yeah. Would you like to tell anybody anything about your experience while you've been here doing the PTT?
It's awesome. It's amazing. A little bit tender, but it's good.
And how are you liking it here?
I like it here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? Beautiful. And let's check in with Tim. Okay, everybody, you want to see a hairy chest? Here it comes. So, Tim, how's it going with your shoulder?
It's good, yeah. It's not as sore getting in there as in some of the other parts, but it feels great. This shoulder's been bugging me now for a couple of years, and just finally getting in there and getting it broken down a bit is great.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, from people not being able to brush their hair to wipe their bum, you don't have to live with this stuff. Mm-hmm. Everybody's getting sucker punched, eh, Sage? And Sage, you know, he'll tell you that, you know, we have a money back guarantee for a reason, okay? Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you something right now. When's the last time we had somebody that was supposed to go to surgery, Sage? Can you remember?
Never.
Not in years. Not in years. Okay? Not in years. So we're not telling you that we're going to stop everybody from going, and we don't stop people. Their body tells
Their body stops. Yeah.
Okay, so what if you were given the wrong information and you became an inflammation nation because you were feeding a corporation? I'll leave that with you. Have a beautiful day.